Hi, it's Margaret, and thank you so much for joining me here on the Gardening Me. Today, I am going to be planting up a couple of plants that I got very luckily at Costco a couple of days ago. There are a couple of plants that have been on my list of things to get into the garden, and I am so excited about them. One of them is this guy here. It's an Itoh Peony. Friends of mine have had Itoh Peonies in their gardens for a while, and they just rave about them. And I've never actually bitten the bullet because generally they're quite expensive, right? So, anyway, I decided, you know what? Cost wasn't an object at Costco, right? So I got one. And the other one that I got was this one here. And this is a lavender. And in fact, I've had this one in the garden before, but it ended up dying. I think I put it in a low spot. Maybe it got too much water over the winter. That's what I'm thinking. Wet feet probably killed it. Anyway, the amazing thing about this one is it's a variegated lavender. So I took them out, planted them up yesterday, and let's just go take a look to see how that went.
So let's take a closer look at the Itoh Peony. I mean, what a find! So many of my friends have these in the garden, and I am absolutely excited to finally get my hands on one at a reasonable price. And I mean, look at it. The color, the bloom, it's absolutely stunning. So let's take a look to see what this guy looks like. That is super promising right there. So I took it out, and unfortunately, I don't know if you can see that, one of the little buds fell off, but that is fine. It'll be just fine. And I'm not going to waste that peat moss, so I'm just putting it back into the container with my potting mix in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is soak the roots for about 30 to 60 minutes. And that is just to help hydrate them and to compensate for the moisture that they lost during shipping and storage. So this is the spot where I decided to put the peony, and it's in between kind of a verge between two walkways in our backyard that we actually had done last fall, which is why it's looking a little bit rough here without any mulch or anything like that. The best time to plant bare root peony is in the very early spring. As soon as the ground is unfrozen, as soon as it's soft enough to dig, and ideally though, while there are still some cold or snowy days in your forecast. Early planting is important because peonies prioritize root growth in cool temperatures. So that's what you want. Planting early really helps those roots begin establishing before that top growth takes off. If you wait until it's warm, what it's going to do is try to push up shoots before the roots are ready, which could stress it. Now, if you need to wait because the ground is still frozen, you should place the roots in a cold cellar or a refrigerator until you can get a shovel into the ground. Now, I'm not really going to add any fertilizer or anything like that to the hole, but what I did do is I just grabbed a bunch of compost and I'm just mixing that in with the surrounding soil just to kind of give it that little bit of a boost. So here's the tuber, and it looks beautiful. And what you want to do is you want to plant it so that the buds end up about 1.5 to 2 inches below the soil surface. And that's in colder zones, such as mine. Now, when you're looking at the peonies, you can see that there are buds kind of all the way along on the tuber itself and then up along the stem. What you want is the lowest bud that's kind of at the bottom of the stem where the tuber is. That's what you're measuring from. So that is the part that will be about 1.5 to 2 inches below the soil surface. Now, here's the trick to planting this guy at the proper depth. You lay a stick across the planting hole, and then you put the tuber down and you adjust the soil underneath that tuber so that those bottom buds are at the proper level. In my case, I'm looking at about 1.5 inches from the bottom of that stick. Now, you do want to firm down gently the soil underneath the root just to make sure that there aren't any big air pockets under there and that it's not going to sink once you water it. If you have very loose soil, it wouldn't even be a bad idea to water it now just to settle that soil and make sure it's sitting correctly. The thing with peony is that if you plant too deeply, you may not end up getting any blooms. If you're in a warmer zone like 7 and above, you can go as shallow as even half an inch. Now let's talk a little bit about Itoh peonies. They are a cross between an herbaceous peony and a tree peony, which is why they're also referred to as intersectional peonies. And they are so well loved because they combine really the best traits of both of those types. They bloom after herbaceous peonies and they have really huge blooms on super sturdy stems that stand tall even after a rainfall, so you really don't need any staking. Even after they bloom, they have a beautiful round shrub like shape that looks great all summer long. Because they're compact and they don't have a floppy habit, they also make great front of the border plants. Now, they have an extended bloom period over about 3 to 4 weeks because each stem not only has a terminal bud at the end of the stem, but they also have multiple side buds that open in waves. This means that they produce more blooms than their cousins, up to 50 or more blooms every season. Now, Itoh peonies do die back to the ground each year, but unlike the herbaceous peony, they actually do maintain a small woody structure close to the ground. The variety I got was Cora Louise. It grows 2 to 3 feet tall and 3 to 4 feet wide, and it really should be planted in the spot that receives full sun, but it can take a bit of shade as well. This one is hardy from zones 4 up to zone 9. So here it is. And while it doesn't look like much right now, one of the great joys of gardening is seeing a little stub in the ground just grow into an absolutely gorgeous plant. Now you'll notice that I did mulch around it, but I did not mulch directly on top of the crown. I just kind of mulched around it in a big donut shape. Next up is this gorgeous lavender. This guy is called Platinum Blonde, and it is a beautiful English lavender with all of the benefits of any other variety. So it has beautiful flowers, they're very fragrant, they attract pollinators like nobody's business. But it also has that one distinctive characteristic that sets it apart, and that is those beautiful variegated leaves with those creamy yellow edges. This guy will just glow in the garden. So here was the big reveal, and I was digging around in there to see what I could find. And at first, I wasn't actually sure what I was looking at. So they don't look the best, I gotta say. The top part was completely dead, and 2 of them had intact root balls that have more or less held together, but the third one had fallen apart quite a lot. I could barely tell what it was. So I'm not going to give up though. So what I'm going to do is give these guys a soak, just like I did with the peony, and yeah, let them sit there in the water for about 30 minutes or so to hydrate them a bit. So now I'm preparing the potting mix. I'm just getting it nice and moist. I'm using Pro Mix potting mix, and I am going to be placing these in a 1 gallon pot so that I can take care of them and really baby them because they obviously need a lot of babying. And hopefully we will get some viable plants out of that. Now let's talk a little bit about Platinum Blonde. This lavender was a natural mutation, and it was spotted in the fields of Montparlier Nursery in Valencia, Spain. It's a really compact lavender, and it forms a beautiful, neat little mound that grows to be about 12 to 24 inches tall and only about 16 to 18 inches wide. Now, the one downside is that it is slightly less hardy than many other English lavenders, and it is only hardy down to zone 6 up to zone 9. Okay, so I have a 1 gallon pot here, and I placed a bit of Pro Mix potting soil in the bottom, and I am placing the root ball, or what I can see of it, on top of that soil, and then I am just going to top it up with soil. The goal is that the crown, which you can see here, it's basically where the roots meet the stem. That area there is going to be just at or even slightly above the soil level. I am going to plant all 3 of them in this one pot. So here's the one that's the worst off, and I was trying to see where that crown was. I think I found it. A few years ago, I actually did find this variety at a garden center and I purchased it. And unfortunately, it only survived 2 years. And I'm wondering if it succumbed to winter wet because it does not like wet feet. And I probably planted it in perhaps a low spot or something like that in my garden that didn't drain too well. And that's why it ended up not coming back. Now, this time, if it survives and I actually get some viable plants here, I am going to be planting these guys in a much drier spot. And even though we're now officially in zone 6, I will probably be giving them a little bit of protection with a covering of straw for at least the first couple of winters. So the last step here is just to give it a little bit of water, just to settle those roots into the soil properly. I'm going to put the pot in a protected area and I'm going to leave it there, and I will make sure that it stays moist, that doesn't dry out, and I will keep an eye on it and cross my fingers that something comes up from here.
And that's it for today. So, got to keep my fingers crossed on the lavender. I did see some white roots in there, especially the ones that had the more intact root balls. So I'm a little bit optimistic on those. The Itoh Peony looked lovely. Well, other than the sprout that fell off, it looked great. So, I'm pretty confident that I'm not going to have an issue with that. But the lavender, anyway, I'll keep you up to date. Anyhow, thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.